Good evening, YouTubers. Welcome back in to another edition of Astros Recap. It is Monday evening, 7:31 p.m., August 24th. You'll be viewing this probably, some point, I would assume, in the coming week. Sunday's my usual day. Astros actually play here in about 40 or so minutes, but I wanted to get on, obviously, before they start this week of baseball. Last night things got sort of late. It was like 11 o'clock by time, and I had to work today, so I said once I get off work I'll hopefully get on, have enough time here before they start playing games this week in baseball. Back home, of course, starting a 10-game homestand, so time to do some damage. Last week, or this previous week, talked about them being 5-2, or hoping, and they were well on their way as they won their first four and swept Colorado, the 2 home, 2 away sort of series, but they won both at home and both at Coors Field in Colorado. And then they go into San Diego and they get swept. So 4-3 usually isn't a terrible week, not a great week, but again, it's just right sort of in the middle there. And I thought that they would easily get the 5-2 after the Colorado series, possibly maybe even 6-1, but weren't able to do it. Things aren't all bad though. Oakland, of course, still has that number one. There's something in my eye. The A's obviously have the division lead by 3.5, 4 games, something like that. I'll look at these standings in a minute here. But the Texas Rangers, who were we were back and forth with them between second and third place. They had lost, I don't know I'll have to look at my phone here in a minute. I don't want to pull it up yet because it frustrates me. But the Rangers lost 7 in a row, and then we were in second place pretty comfortably. I think it's still the same way, so we'll look at the phone here in a minute. But the Rangers are starting to fall. And, of course, Seattle and the Angels, the Mariners and the Angels are just absolutely atrocious to start the year. But the Astros are now 15-12, or no, 15-13. They are 15-13 this year. Isn't great. Isn't bad. In previous years, I mean, we'd be way better after 27 games or 28 games, whatever it is. But half the season's over. I mean, it's August 24th now, and the trade deadline is in a week. This whole thing is just so bizarre, but that's the times we live in right now. So, but I guess it's phone time, so pick up the phone here, go through these games briefly here, and we'll talk about it. So like I mentioned, they played very well, and they swept Colorado. They had the easy week 2 weeks ago. We talked about them playing the Mariners and then the Giants, or the Giants then the Mariners, and they won 5 of 6. Probably should have won all 6, but they blew a game in there. So going into this week, playing Colorado and San Diego, at least these were more respectable teams. You got to start beating some good teams. So Colorado, which they did very well, couldn't really hit in games 1 or 2. In fact, they won both those games 2-1. The first game was started by Lance McCullers or Brandon Belak. I think it was Belak, who pitched very well. We scored 2 in the first, and that actually held up. Belak gave up 1 in the third. He got the win, improved his ERA to 1.69. We'll talk about Belak again because he actually got roughed up in San Diego, but in this particular game he was good. Blake Taylor comes in to get the save. So one thing I've noticed about Blake Taylor, trying to think, do I want to get into that now? I guess we can. So Blake Taylor, being one of our better relievers, left-handed reliever that is, I feel like Dusty sort of used him as more of a situational lefty, which, I mean, I'm not opposed to. Obviously, you sort of want to set up your lefties against lefties. Of course, with the new rule this year, having to face at least 3 hitters when you bring in a reliever or end your half inning. You can't usually do your, lefty specialist. Sorry, you can't really do that for your one hitter type deal thing. So you have to look ahead sort of. But I feel like Blake Taylor sort of or Dusty Baker's used Blake Taylor sort of in that way. And I thought Blake Taylor would more sort of be used as a setup guy because he's been so good in all of his appearances so far. Pretty much had that one little tough appearance against the Giants when he gave up that home run to Hunter Pence. But other than that, he's been pretty much flawless. So, but yeah, that's one thing that I've noticed with Dusty, the way he uses Blake Taylor. And of course, you got Anoli Paredes, Andre Scrub. He's liking Brooks Raley. There'll be a few other guys mixed in here, sort of to bridge the gap to get to Presley. And Presley's just sort of so up and down. So, not 100% sure, but getting the win there. Didn't feel like a good game just because they scored 2 in the first and then were shut out the rest of the way. But we won, and I'll take it. Game 2, Zach Greinke was amazing. So he's continuing to get better and better. But the game was tied at 0 going into extra innings. So, let's see here. I think Greinke went 8 innings. So, pull up the box score here. Yeah, he went 8 innings, 3 hits, no runs, no walks, 7 strikeouts, 1.84 ERA there. And then Paredes went in the 9th, didn't give up a run. Presley comes in the 10th. He does allow a run, unearned. It was the runner on second, so when you start your extras with our new extra inning rule, if that runner on second comes around to score, you start with no outs. That if that runner that is not an earned run on the reliever or whoever's in the pitch because it's not really fair. So, but he gave up that run. We did tie the game in the bottom half at 1, and then we won it in the 11th. So, but Presley gave up that unearned run. Scrub got the win, came in. So the thing with Scrub, talked about this last year or last week, I believe. Talked about him sort of only reliever on the team that's got an ERA of 0, and that still stands, I believe. But he never makes the inning easy. He's always walking hitters or giving up hits. Just nobody's actually come around. So that's the big thing with Scrub. He needs to cut down his walks, but he gets his strikeouts. Struck out 2, walked a batter, and got out of that inning to keep his ERA at 0. Gets the win, and the Astros win that 2-1. I believe their scores. 2 runs isn't worth talking about. I don't think anybody was really significant. I think Gurriel had the 2 runs on Monday. They scored 2 runs. I want to say one was a sac fly. Let's just look, because since we're here. So, all right, let's see. Monday, like I said, they won 2-1. That was the BLAC start. Scored the 2 in the first, and then no more the rest of the way through. Those 2 runs were scored on a Carlos Correa 2-run double. So I was wrong. Correa had the 2 RBIs in that game. And then on Tuesday it was, let's see here, obviously scoreless through 9 innings. Finally get on the board in the 10th here, if this thing wants to load. But Kyle Tucker had a sac fly, and Miles Straw had the walk-off single. So I'm glad Tucker here, guy I will give a little credit to, because I don't want to say I've been critical of him, but I said he's going to strike out a ton, and I said his swing needs some major work, but he actually hit the ball very well this week, had a few home runs, drove in some guys. So Tucker, talked about the average being at 195. I'll talk more about him when I actually get there, but I think his ERA is up into the 200s now, and he's driving in runners, and he's got some pop, so we'll see with Tucker. But he's actually batted clean up the last 2 games, so Dusty Baker's liking what he's been able to do as well. So But anyway, so you win the 2, go on the road, Coors Field, always a weird ballpark, a lot of runs, and we won both games. We got up to huge leads, and we let Colorado sort of creep their way back. Both games, both at home, the 2-1 scores, and on the road, both games at both ballparks played out very similar, it seemed like. But the Astros bats, Coors Field's a hard ballpark to sort of pitch in. So, I was waiting for the offense to sort of break out a little bit after, really three straight games. I'm trying to think, like 3 straight games where they scored 2 runs or 4. They had 2 runs, 3 runs, 2 runs, 2 runs. So waiting for a big offensive game. Scored 13 runs, won 13-6. They were up like 13-2 at one point, and they gave up 2 runs in the 8th, 3 in the 9th. So, but I'll go through the runs here just to sort of quickly. But Maldonado hit a home run. Correa hit a home run, both solo shots. Taylor Jones, RBI single. Kyle Tucker, 2-run triple. Taylor Jones, RBI single. Abraham Toro, RBI single. Yuli Gurriel, RBI double. Carlos Correa, 2-run single. George Springer, solo home run. And I think that's all. No, that's 11. And Kyle Tucker, 2-run home run. So there's a little bit of Tucker for you. Taylor Jones finally getting in the mix. He had 2 at-bats, really, and then he got sent back down. But with all the injuries, he got called back up, and he actually hit his first Major League home run back on Saturday, I want to say. So he's actually been doing better. Taylor Jones, guy that, 2 at-bats in Game 3. Your dog's in the background barking. Apologize for that. But yeah, he had 2 at-bats where he struck out and grounded into a double play, which is probably the worst 2 at-bats you can have, and got sent back down promptly after that game. But like I said, called back up with all the injuries they're dealing with. So, but anyway, big offensive outburst, but they did let Colorado sort of make it more, I guess, close. Wasn't as much as a laugher, as you would say. 13-6 there. And then they win. It's a pitching line there. Let's see. So Framber Valdez, once again, very good. I can't say enough about this guy. Can't believe I'm saying this, but he's been very good. 7 2/3, 7 hits, 3 runs, 1 of them earned, struck out 5, walked 1, ERA 1.72. So starters have been just flat out amazing. Biagini, who's back, got a third. God, this guy's terrible. Pitched a third of an inning, got 1 out, allowed 3 runs, all of them earned, walked 2, struck out 1, ERA at 36. So Biagini is just a complete waste of time. Terrible trade. They didn't give up much to get him, but he's not helping the team. He's hurting it. So, but Biagini is just a guy you have absolutely no faith in whatsoever. And Cy Snead also came in. He actually had a scoreless inning, gave up a hit, but struck out 2. ERA 5.19 for him. Snead's another guy that I don't have a lot of faith in. But this is the type of game where you'd pitch those 2 because it was a blowout. But they proved, even in blowouts, they can't get out. So, well, Snead was okay, but Biagini was just flat out terrible and has been. But winning that game 13-6, and then again on Thursday 10-8, they grab a huge lead. It was really 2 innings, I believe. They had 2 5-run innings. And then, see if I can pull this up here as the phone chooses when it wants to work and when it doesn't. But yeah, they had a 5-run second and a 5-run fifth. I think Toro hit a grand slam in this game, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. But Kyle Tucker had another triple to drive in a run. Maldonado RBI single. George Springer RBI single. Jose Altuve finally looking better. He had 3 straight 2-hit games. Sunday I think he was hitless. I might be wrong there, but his average is over 200 now, so that's a little bbit better. But Altuve had a 2-run double to drive in 2, and then Colorado scored 3 to make it 5-3, and then we put up 5 more. And yeah, this phone's not going to work, is it? Let's see. Trying to make sure that Toro had that grand slam, but the phone right now is not wanting to work here. So yeah, they got 3 to close the gap. Then Yuli had an RBI single, making it 6-3. Kyle Tucker RBI single, and Toro hit a 3-run home run to make it 10-2 or 3. Colorado then came back. Final was 10-8. But yeah, Christian Javier sort of struggled. Only 3 2/3, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. ERA at 3.55. So Javier has had 2 sort of subpar starts. Brooks Raley got inning and a third. He allowed 3 runs, so he wasn't very good. Josh James came in, gave up a run, of course. Yeah, he's not good. ERA at 10.97 for Josh James. Brooks Raley at 7.45. Blake Taylor comes in, gets a hold. Walked a batter, struck out a guy, gave up a hit. Scoreless inning, 1.42 the ERA there. Paredes, scoreless inning, walked a batter, 2.45 ERA for him. Presley gets the save, allows A earned run. Hit, run, earned, 5.87 ERA for Presley, saving his 3rd game of the year. So a lot of offense in those 2 games on Wednesday and Thursday after scoring only 2 runs on Monday and Tuesday, but sweeping that series was nice. Put them at 15-10, which looked, very nice. But anyway, so let's see here now. This is the tough series. San Diego. So Friday, they actually scored in the first inning of all these games, I believe, but there was not much after that. So, but Friday was Brandon Bielak, I want to say. No. Wait. Clicked on the wrong one. No, Friday was not Bielak. Friday was McCullers. And McCullers struggled as he gave up in only 5 innings, 4 earned runs, struck out 2, walked 2. So we're back to Lance McCullers that we know and I guess deal with, because one thing that we know about Lance McCullers is his home and road splits are very far apart from one another. He's very good at home, very bad on the road. So his 3 road starts, he's been terrible. His 3 home starts, he's been very good. So I don't know if we'll expect that from Lance McCullers, but that's one thing we remember from him from 2017, 16, all the years he's been here, really. But yeah, he's not a good road pitcher, I guess. It's a weird thing that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but the numbers speak for themselves there. He's not very good on the road, so we'll see how the rest of the season plays out, but he wasn't very good, giving up 4 runs. Rest of the bullpen did their job. That is Cy Snead. Cionel Perez gets called up. I can't even tell you all the injuries and who gets called up and who gets let down, because it's just they just pile up. Bregman got hurt, by the way. I forgot to bring that up. I think that was the first game in Colorado, and he got put on the IL before even they did an MRI. So he's got a hamstring strain. But yeah, it didn't look good. I think Perez got called up for Bregman there. So, but Bregman's on the IL. Brantley's back. I think he DH'd on Sunday. Didn't do a whole lot. We'll see if he does something tonight. But Brantley's back. You got Springer. You got Altuve. But Toro's going to get more playing time at third base. Taylor Jones is getting some starts at first if they want to DH Gurriel or give him a day off. And then you got Kyle Tucker, Josh Reddick, George Springer, and you got Brantley. Also mixing some Miles Straw there in the outfield. And Maldonado's caught most of the games. In fact, we've seen Garrett Stubbs a few times out in left field, but I've only seen Garneau behind the plate maybe once or twice, so Maldonado's getting a pretty full workload here. Thought he'd get a few days off with them playing so many games in a row here. Talk about the schedule here after the series, but back to Friday's game against San Diego. So the bullpen did their job. They walked some hitters, but got some strikeouts. And Cieno Perez, Andre Scrub, Enoli Paredes did their job there. And then we just didn't score. It was 4-1, so we scored 2 runs, and we were sort of fighting our way back a little bit there, but we didn't do enough to come back and win, as they shut the door 4-3. Saturday's game was pretty ugly from the start. Going into the series, San Diego had hit a grand slam in 4 consecutive games, so we snapped that streak on Friday, but they got one on Saturday. And Brandon Bielak was pretty bad in that start. Really got hit around, roughed up. And he only lasted an inning and a third, I think. And then they went to Humberto Castellanos. And he actually got them through about 2 and 2/3 innings, something like that. Like, my phone's not loading right now, so I'm going off what I can come up with here. But he did that, and it was pretty much a bullpen game the rest of the way through there. They actually sent him down now, and they brought up Chase DeYoung, I think is his name. So we'll see what we get there. But it was like, what did they lose that game here? This just doesn't want to load. It pisses me off, this stupid thing. Stupid phone. See if I can hook up to Wi-Fi, or take Wi-Fi off, see what happens. Here we go. So we lost that game 13-2. I won't go through the runs. Taylor Jones hit his first career home run. That was one of those runs. And the other one was a Yuli Gurriel sac fly in the first. But yeah, the pitching, so like I said, Bielak, an inning and a third, so 1 1/3 innings, 7 earned runs, gave up 4 home runs. ERA jumps all the way to 4.37. Cassiano goes 3 full innings, but he gives up 4 earned runs himself, 7.50. They bring in Biagini. Goes 2 2/3, 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He's just so bad. And then Cy Snead actually goes an inning and strikes out the side. So Snead's had a few better outings since, he had like 4 or 5 straight terrible outings. But they had no chance in that game, 13-2. Then Sunday, game looked like we got out to a 3-0 lead, scored 3 runs in the first. Kyle Tucker hit a opposite field 2-run home run, so they were out early. And with Greinke starting, you felt good about your chances there, but he wasn't terrible. He went 6 innings. He threw 106 pitches, so that endurance thing is his endurance, which is what he talked about, is up to full strength, or as good as it's going to get. But he went 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned, struck out 4, walked 2, 2.29 ERA. So it wasn't terrible, but not that good. Brooks Raley came in, had a scoreless inning. Paredes actually got hit around a little bit, 2 earned runs. He actually got the loss, 3.55 ERA, and then Taylor got a single out in the last inning, or the bottom half of the 8th there. But that's a game that you let slip away. When you're up 3 runs, you can't let that slip away, and they did. And that completed the sweep for San Diego. So San Diego's won 6 or 7 in a row. But that sort of wraps up the week at 4-3. So they're 15-13. Quick division check for you here. Texas has lost 8 in a row. So you're in second place, 4.5 back of Oakland. But you have a 5.5 now Yeah, 5.5 game lead from your third place Texas team. So we're securely in second place, which is really all they need to be to make it to the playoffs. Try to get healthy, I think, is the key here. But yeah, you got Oakland at 20-9, Houston at 15-13, Texas at 10-17, Seattle at 11-19, and the Angels at 9-20. So I don't like to pat myself on the back. I actually thought the Angels would be decent, but I did not buy the hype of them from other baseball experts, analysts throughout the year. But they're pretty bad right now. We actually get them for 4 games coming up here. They'll be at home, so they get 4 with the Angels, and then they get 3 with Oakland. And that'll be a big series to sort of get Oakland back. So the original schedule this week was to play on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. 8 o'clock starts, and then Thursday an afternoon game. But we do have a storm rolling through. Hurricane Laura, which will be making impact mid to late week, we think, maybe. Not sure. In fact, the original cone right now, hate to be a meteorologist here, but the initial cone, as of what we know right now, it's supposed to sort of, the eye is supposed to go like right through the border of the Louisiana and Texas, and we would miss most of it unless there's a lot of outer bands on your west side. The west side of the storm, there's a lot of outer bands. I guess we'd get that, but we're still waiting and seeing. So they changed the schedule. We play today at 8. We have a doubleheader tomorrow. Those will be 7-inning games. And then you'll play an afternoon early game on Wednesday at 12. And then hopefully the storm passes by. And then we're back to playing Oakland on Friday. So kind of a weird thing that really happened 3 to 4 hours ago. I found out that they had switched all this up. So we'll wait and see. But LA's a team you should really take 3 or 4 from. And I guess you'll hope to take 2 or 3 from Oakland, which would put you at 5-2. That'll be my hopeful prediction next time I talk to you. And then they stay at home, have an off day Monday, and they'll play Texas for 3. But we'll talk about that next Sunday or Monday. Having that off day Monday actually gives me the opportunity to talk to you then, so that'll probably be the next time I do talk to you. We're coming up on 28 minutes here. But I'm trying to think anything else. Injuries galore, they're still here. Biagini's back. Davinsky not yet. Trying to think, every week there's about 2 to 3 people that get injured. Bregman was the big one this week. Josh James got hurt. Yeah, that's right. So James is on the IL. Just had to think for one more minute to bring up somebody else. But yeah, Josh James got hurt. So you look at the injuries, if I can point them all out here. Bregman, obviously. Yordan Alvarez is out for the year. I don't know if I made that clear last week, but yeah, he's done for the year. Obviously, Verlander's out. Osuna's out. So Bregman, Alvarez, Verlander, Osuna, and you could go with the people that haven't even gotten, like Urquidy's still out, so that's 5. Brad Peacock is 6. Austin Pruitt is 7. There's probably a few others in the bullpen. Davinsky, I guess you could throw in there is 8. But Davinsky's a non-factor anyway. Josh James, I guess, would be 9. There's somebody else in AAA that hasn't made their debut yet, but hopefully Urquidy's close. Haven't heard a whole lot of news about him, but he would definitely help. Peacock would help for that matter. But again, I think the goal is just sort of trying to grind out wins, keep yourself in second place, and then hopefully you can get the majority of your guys back for the playoffs. That would be sort of the goal for the Astros, I would say. But anyway, yeah, we're coming up on 30 minutes, so game starts here in about 10 minutes. We'll wrap things up there. Hope all goes well. 5-2 week would be nice. They're playing the Angels. They really should win all 4 of these games. but I'll take 3 of 4 because sweeping a 4-game series is not easy. And then playing Oakland, which will be tough. Hopefully we can take 2 or 3 there. And yeah, feel good about a 5-2 week, and we'll see what happens with the Storm and what injuries will take place this week because it happens every week. But anyway, I'll sort of wrap things up there. I was going to actually talk to Keegan. I was going to FaceTime him and bring him on the show yesterday, but things got late and he lost internet connection or whatever in his apartment or whatever. So things were tough there, but I'll try to do that next week on Monday if he's available. Like, I'm trying to get guests on the show, but I do this at times where people aren't always available. But anyway, wrap things up there. Looking forward to the week, see what happens, and if I forgot anything, please leave that in the comments section below. Please like this YouTube video podcast here. Share it with your friends. Do all that good stuff on YouTube. I'm looking for viewers. I don't have any. So subscribe if you want your Astros updates, or if you just want to talk to me, hit me in the comment section below. I'll definitely reply if a response is warranted. But do all that good stuff on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter. That's at DavidArtist7. I have a friend, coworker at work, who's actually trying to beat me in followers. We both don't have a ton. So at DavidArtist7, that's DavidArtis and the number 7. Will find me on Twitter and follow me that way as well. But I'd love to hear from you guys, so if I forgot anything, got anything to add, anything I was not right about, just leave that in the comments section below and I'll get back to you. But do all that good stuff on YouTube, and I'll talk to you next week. Next Monday will probably be the day you'll hear from me again. So we'll see you then.